Hello everyone. In this presentation, we are going to look at framing and formatting captions, including copyright attribution for the images we use in our text following the requirements of the 7th edition of the APA. Any visual we use along with our text needs a caption, that is to say, needs words to tell the reader exactly how to look at it and what to notice, how it is useful. This includes photographs, paintings, sketches, drawings such as plans, sections, elevations, exploded views, tables, figures, maps, etc. There are multiple ways in which an image can be captioned. Irrespective of which one we use, the captioning throughout the text, whether an article, a whole journal, a book, should be consistent. The format we use for the captions is that provided by the APA 7th edition, which is the style sheet often used in the sciences and social sciences. Once we know how to caption according to the APA style, we can use any other style, whether pertaining to a manual like the MLA or Chicago, or an in-house style sheet that works for our project. But the first step of understanding all the information that is important in a caption is essential to be able to tailor captions to what we need. The 7th edition of the APA gives us the following rules. The caption begins above the figure with the word figure and the number corresponding to the figure in the sequence in which it appears in the text. This is in one line in bold. The figure number is followed on the next line by the image heading or a headline. This appears in italics and title case. This part of the caption functions like a very concise label identifying the focus very clearly. It tells us at a glance what we are looking at. Below the image we have the note, which adds further details to the heading without repeating it. This is where we are asked to look at specifics within the image, or we are given an interpretation of the data, the symbols that we have in front of us. The note begins with the word note in italics followed by a full stop. And then the note itself follows, providing specific details regarding the image and drawing the audience's attention to them. If the figure, image, drawing is not our own, the note ends by indicating who holds the copyright for it and where we came across it. Once again, this is how we think about it. As you can see in the course of our work, we often need to make use of visuals that other people have come up with. These could be photographs of building or pieces of furniture, paintings, sketches, drawings, plans, sections, elevations, table presenting data, figures representing processes, and organizing data, maps, and so forth. Whenever we use someone else's work, we need to acknowledge where it came from. And it is what we have been doing in the last part of the caption, in what we call the copyright attribution. Copyright attribution is a brief statement that goes along with the caption we provide for any visual we use along with our text. This statement provides all the information regarding the original work in which the figure, table, sketch, photograph, etc. appears. It needs to tell us the title of the text in which we found it, the name of the author, the year of publication, as well as the type of source it is. Along with these details, a copyright attribution statement also clearly indicates who holds the copyright. It could be the author, painter, photographer, it could be a trust, or it could be a journal. We always provide copyright attribution whenever we reprint or adapt a figure, a photograph, a table, or a chart, irrespective of where it is, published or unpublished, reprinted or adapted, a photograph clicked by a classmate, a map from a government agency's website, an Instagram photo, or any other social media, images found online for free, charts or diagrams from studio lectures or presentations, graphs and diagrams from books or journals, images from newspapers or blogs, drawing or sketches from authors' own previous works, whether published or submitted as assignments. We use copyright attribution to credit, recognize, and acknowledge others' work and contribution in our own work. Giving due credit also shows your integrity and professionalism and provides an additional layer of support and evidence to your arguments. Most importantly, copyright attribution ensures avoiding any accidental plagiarism that might have legal repercussions. In order to create an accurate copyright attribution, try to answer these questions. Is this a work that has a title of its own, like a painting, a drawing, or a sketch? If yes, that title needs to be mentioned. If it has a specific photographer, painter, and a clear authorship, their name needs to be mentioned as well in the body of the caption. This may not be the case for tables and figures, which are often authored by the author of the text in which they are found. Is it the table, figure, photograph, image reproduced exactly as it appeared in the original? Then write from. Or did you have to adapt it, that is, annotate, crop, zoom, or make any other changes to suit your purpose? Then write adapted from. Where did the image, figure, table appear? In what text, in what book? Write its title using sentence case. Who wrote this text and when was it published? Write it as by the name of the authors followed by the year of publication. Is this a standalone text or does it appear in larger work? If it appears in larger work, please write the title of the larger work. Make sure to mention the specific page number where the figure or the table appears so that it is easy for the reader to locate it if they want to. In the case of online sources, always give DOI or stable URL. If it is printed work, include the name of the publisher. In the end, write a line that mentions who holds the copyright. This is always done in a prescribed format, copyright, followed by the year of publication and the name of the copyright owner. Always check the copyright statement on the source for this. How does this come together? The copyright attribution begins with from, indicating that no modifications were made to the image reproduced here. If the image has been modified, we would have used adapted from instead. Right after from, we have the title of the journal article, red chalk palimpsest, the logic of Samba landscape in quotes followed by a comma. To differentiate between the article title and the author names, we use by preceding the names. Immediately after the author's names, we have the year of publication between commas and details regarding the larger source, in this case, journal title, volume, and issue number. The specific page number where the image is in the article is mentioned using the suffix p, which is short for page number. The DOI or stable URL link is mentioned in brackets. The last line is the credit or copyright line, which clearly indicates the year of publication and who holds the copyright. In the case of books, journal articles, it is the publisher that holds the copyright unless specified otherwise. Always check the copyrights page to verify. Every image used should have a copyright attribution in the caption. Each one will also have a corresponding entry in the reference list. This is the equivalent of the bibliography and it goes at the end of your text along with your bibliography. Notice that the formatting, that is the title case, punctuation and sequence is different in the reference list, but the details are the same. So you have your content in place. We will talk about the formatting for the reference list side by side with the formatting for the caption. In this example, the entry begins with the surname of the writer of the text from which the figure was selected, followed by a comma and their initial, just like in a bibliography entry. This helps us connect the entry to the text where the figure appeared. This is followed by a full stop and then the year of publication within brackets. The title of the portfolio appears next, followed by a full stop. Because this is not a published work and we do not have a publisher's name, next appears a square bracket indicating that this is an unpublished master's portfolio. Once the bracket has been closed and followed by a full stop, we have the name of the institution, CEPT University. Some points to remember before we move into examples. The reference list is organized alphabetically. It does not require numbers, bullet points, and should not be organized in the sequence in which the figures appear. The entry always begins with the surname of the writer, followed by the initial and a full stop. The year or date of publication will always appear within parentheses and be followed by a full stop. This will be followed by the title of the piece in which the figure is found, and if that is shorter piece, by anthology, edited volume, or journal. Always mention the page number of the shorter work when using a smaller part of the source. Provide publisher details wherever necessary. Add a DOI or a stable URL at the end. Let us take a closer look at how to provide copyright attribution and reference figures, images, and tables based on the source they come from. Say we have used an image from a book. We use from or adapted from to indicate any modifications made to the original figure and directly mention the title of the book or report in title case followed by the page number where the image is located. Write the author information after the page number. Finally, mention the publication date and the publisher. If there is a DOI or URL available, mention it in parentheses. The last line of the caption will be the credit copyright line. It will have to mention who holds the copyright for the specific image used. The entry in the reference list will be formatted like a bibliography entry. It starts with the last name of the author followed by their initials and a full stop. The year of publication appears within brackets and followed by a full stop. Then comes the title of the book in sentence case and italics. Finally, the publisher followed by a full stop. And if the book is published officially online, then the DOI or URL within brackets. The copyright information is usually found on the back of the title page. Make sure to check this to verify who is the copyright holder. When you are creating a reference entry for the entire book, you do not need to mention the specific pages, but do mention the page number in the copyright attribution. If you have referred to a chapter from a compiled or edited book, that is, when different chapters are authored by different authors, you need to specify the name of the chapter before the details of the book. You also need to clearly mention who are the authors of the chapter and the editors of the book. The sequence of information is important here. In the copyright attribution, the chapter name will be in double quotation marks to differentiate between the title of the chapter and that of the book. Follow this template for the copyright attribution and the reference entry. And this is what it would look like. A dissertation or a thesis follows the same format as a book but needs to mention after the title within square brackets what kind of a thesis it is. When we use an image from an online source like a journal article, a newspaper, a magazine, the copyright attribution format is the same. Begin by using from if the figure is reproduced without any changes. In case you have annotated or modified to make it more relevant to your text, use adapted from. Next, write the title of the article or web page in title case within quotes. In order to indicate the author details, use the word by, then write the author's initials followed by the last name. Immediately after the author details, write the year of publication. If the publication year is not available, write ND within brackets. Mention the title of the larger source, that is the journal, newspaper or magazine in title case. If the page number is available, mention the exact page number. Give the DOI or stable URL to the source within brackets. The last line indicates who holds the copyright for the image. Start by writing the word copyright followed by the year of publication followed by the word by and then the name or title of the copyright holder. In case of newspaper, journal or magazine articles, usually the organization and publication holds the copyright. Always verify this with the source material. Remember, all titles in the reference list will always be in sentence case. Only the title of the larger source will be in italics. Whereas in copyright attribution, all titles are always in title case and no information is italicized. APA prescribes the use of full stop or period to differentiate between the elements of information when formatting the reference entry. However, it clearly states to use comma while formatting copyright information. This is because of the different sequence of information in both, which is linked to the different purpose each of them serves for the reader. The reference list will require the same details but with changes. You will start with the last name of the author followed by their initials. This will be followed by full stop and the year of publication within brackets. The title of the article appears next in sentence case. This is followed by the title of the larger source in sentence case and italics. This is followed by the volume number, italicized if it exists, and the issue number within brackets, not italicized, followed by a comma and the page number where the image is to be found. APA prescribes the use of full stop or period to differentiate between the elements of information when formatting the reference entry. However, it clearly states to use comma while formatting copyright information. This is because of the different sequence of information in both, which is linked to the different purpose each of them serves for the reader. Notice here the DOI is mentioned within parentheses as a part of copyright information before the credit line. However, the DOI or URL will always be at the end of the reference entry. Newspaper articles will always have date and month of publication along with the year. Unlike the journal article and the newspaper article, the title of the web page article will not be in quotation marks. When we are talking about a work in a museum or exhibition, chances are it already has a title. The copyright attribution will have to begin with the title of the work in title case, or if it is untitled, a description of it in square brackets. This is followed by the initial and the last name of the artist or designer, the year when it was created, and the name and the location of the museum. If online, the URL is needed as well. Finally, we have the copyright holder, likely to be the same as the artist or designer. Images from Google Maps will need to have a description of the map in square brackets indicating what they are a map of, followed by month, date, and year when they were retrieved. They would look something like this.